I just want to thank you for joining us once again on this live stream. Tonight is just we're gonna be here for just a very short while, even as we examine quite a few things happening in Nigeria right now. The last 1 week have been last couple of weeks, let's not say 1 week. They've been very, very shocking, as far as the annals of Nigeria is concerned. The sort of corruption we've been hearing about, they've been so enormous, they've been so earth-shattering, they've been so scary that you're like, what is really, really, really going on? Former minister, currently, under investigation by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. Current minister suspended under investigation by the same crimes commission. And the director of the investment agency itself, one arm of the ministry, I was just wondering, how can someone claim to have transferred money into our account just to protect the funds? You did not accidentally transfer, 100,000. You did not accidentally transfer 1 million. You did not accidentally transfer 10 million, 44. And I'm like, in Nigeria, can I move 20 million? Can I move 100 million between accounts without my bank actually filing a report, a statutory report with the regulators? There are quite a lot of things to look at. And of course, the good news this evening, quote and unquote, that the president has actually suspended that agency, that program for now. But tonight I've got a special guest with me, the former student union of the University of Ado-Ekiti, PLIDEite Sola Fayemi, and Global Secretary General of Platform for Liberty and Democracy. PLIDEite Sola Fayemi, it's my pleasure to welcome you. You're most welcome. Glad to see you.
Thank you very much, convener. It's always my pleasure. I'm always warm to be here to discuss our national issues. Thank you.
PLIDEite Sola Fayemi, the only way to start anyway is that to actually say that for me, you're actually looking good, which for me is maybe suggestive that who knows, maybe you're even getting a cut or something, because your cheeks have changed. There are quite a few things that have changed, regarding you. So I'm like, the whole idea is one is beginning to think that, you've actually been enjoying some money from Sister Betta. Have you and Sister Betta been doing certain things together?
No, incidentally, I'm not sure if I've ever met Betta, but I even felt disappointed that we share the same the same religious background. What I meant is just because I saw a video recently where she went to Shiloh, the last concluded Shiloh in December.
Oh, you're a member of Shiloh?
Yes, I'm a member of Winner. I'm a winner, and I'm proud to say that.
Okay.
But incidentally, here she testified to have become a minister at 37 and all of that. And
she came to Shiloh to testify?
Publicly, yes, publicly,
wow.
But at the same time, yes. But it poorly turned out to be, a bad ambassador of Winners Chapel International.
Just a question. I mean, don't mind me. When she came to Shiloh, did you somehow, maybe you spoke after the meeting one-on-one together,
Incidentally, no. I was not even at Shiloh. I was not in Ota. I was watching
regarding an appointment or something. Anything can happen,
No, I actually did not need an appointment from the government as we speak.
Okay. Go on. Okay, let's
for me, when we try to x-ray the recent issues of corruption that has been happening, particularly in that humanitarian affairs ministry, it's something that is sad. It's something that has also labeled Nigeria in a bad book, in a committee of nations, because now even many of our colleagues and friends all over are beginning to say, what is the issue with your country? Why is Nigeria always in the bad note? Why are people talking about corruption every time? And they are beginning to look at us as if Nigeria is not a serious nation. We have resources, but our problem over time has been effective utilization and management of these resources. which has been rulers. We have rulers who are not leaders, and most especially when leaders who are expected to put much leverage on the welfare and the sanctity of the citizens are now beginning to play politics with that to an extent of cornering the resources that is meant to alleviate poverty and to improve the standard of living of citizens. So it's something that calls for serious concern, and that is why it generated so many issues, and citizens were highly interested in the outcome of that. And I could remember vividly even before the president suspended better, citizens have been clamoring, civil society organizations have been clamoring for as immediate suspension. Immediately, a letter surfaced online, and immediately also she confirmed that she got an approval from the Accountant General of the Federation to have moved several millions of naira into her personal account. And she had the moral justification to even support that drive, saying she got an approval. It is normal, it is legal for such amount of money to be moved into a personal account. And people are beginning to now query that did that better, or whoever are people working with her do not understand the policies and the working of public service, where it is completely illegal for money meant for government to be transferred into personal account of any individual. If you're having a contract, the money must be paid into the account of the contractor, and due processes are expected to have been followed. And over time, citizens are beginning to look at it that better happened to be a very young and a bright lady who we expected that she would do well in that ministry. And I saw one of her videos recently, particularly when she went to National Assembly to defend the budget of that ministry, and how brilliantly she spoke. She challenged the members of National Assembly to hold her and the ministry accountable if lives of an average Nigerian is not properly affected and not alleviated, if the standard of living were not improved, during our reign and our tenure as the minister of that ministry. So, that at that time gave us hope that indeed we're beginning to have fresh air in that ministry. But what we're having right now, it has been a generational, a colossal failure of leadership in that ministry, where the previous minister is currently being tried for corruption. Now we have better headroom. Ours is even like 3 billion. We have Sadia Umar Farouk, that is like 37 billion. So as we speak now, it has been a terrain, it has been a system, it has been a way of a bad omen in that ministry, where everybody going there to serve rather than serving the nations are always looking at an opportunity to enrich themselves, to corner the resources meant for poor Nigerians into their personal comfort. So this is highly unfortunate. This is something that is highly shameful. And as you speak, and publicly, I need to commend the swift reaction of the president, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to have immediately suspended that minister. And we also read in the dailies that immediately she got a suspension, she ran to the office of the president. Well, the question we ask is he to kneel down and beg the president for a restatement, or for try to in the outcome of that saga? And considering the the enormosity of corruption that have been taking place in that ministry, I'm sure no same president or no same national figure will take that issue under the carpet. It is quite unfortunate, and I know as it is now, even not only better, every other people who directly or indirectly might have fingered to be interested or to have been participants in that fraud and in that corruption should also be brought to book, because we saw a fantastic minister of interior, Olubumi Tunjojo. He has been a fantastic guy, going by his little footprint in that ministry. Was being able to clear the backlog of processes and applications for international passport. Now that processes has been automated. He has put a lot of relief in that ministry, and indeed, people are beginning to look at having a better fresh air coming out from that ministry. And now he has been fingered to be, a participant, to be probably beneficiary of that corruption that happened in humanitarian, affair. Though the minister has denied it, saying she floated that company some years back. She was a director. She resigned in 2019 or thereabout when he was contesting to be a member of House of Rep. But nevertheless, he also claimed to still be a shareholder of that company. So it is now left for us to look at it. If you completely, put your interest away from that company, resigned as a director, filed the returns with the CAC, and now you still claim to be a shareholder of that company. Indirectly, there's a connection with your personality and that company. And if you are also digging, deeply into the activities and involvement of that company in that saga, you have to look at it. Who bid for that contract? Were the necessary procedure followed? As that complaint be beneficiary of government contract in the time past? If yes, how well have they executed the government on the past contract they've done? So there are so many questions for whoever has been fingered to be involved in that corruption saga to face. Citizens are anxiously waiting. The problem in the land are enormous. The people are suffering. The rumors going here and there every day. The expected release from government and all of that, and the allocation meant for this relief are being siphoned by a beautiful better. The expectation of better was very, very high, and many of us are highly disappointed in a bright lady who have a glorious future in politics if that tempo could be sustained. But as it is now, internet don't forget, people can't forget, so we have so many issues to relay to her. Which I don't want to even mention the secondary school she attended, and the three ladies we're having in the corruption circle now. It appears the three of them attended Federal Girls College. One attended Kaduna, the other one Gusau, and this other one Calabar. So people are beginning to look at it. Is it that ladies who passed through Federal Government Girls College were specially trained and smart, in the way of managing people and particularly resources, because these ladies.
You're actually throwing a stone there, right? If at this table you're shaking, this table is really shaking violently. Do you get what I'm saying? So you're trying to prove a point, right? That those who went to Federal Government Girls Colleges.
It's actually there in the public consumption.
Okay.
Even citizens are beginning to look at it. Is it management of resources, alteration of books, and all of that are part of the curriculum being taught in Federal Girls College? Because the three ladies we had in time past recently now have siphoned over 100 million, from a particular ministry. So it's a one-time amount of money, and it calls for serious questioning. That we need to understand where the expertise came from and where they thought, or is it that all of them believe, once people who graduated from FGC are good in humanitarian affairs, and when they are put in that ministry, because we're beginning to look at it, somebody left the ministry and finished from FGC Gusau, the other person came now, finished from FGC Calabar, and all of that. Even the next person now, maybe the person is going to come from FGC Ogbomoso and all of that. So we are beginning to now look at
it. Okay, you know what? Let's just do this. Since you're shaking the table, please, what secondary school did you attend? What's the name of the secondary school you attended?
Yes, Ifaki Grammar School, the prestigious Ifaki Grammar School.
Ifaki Grammar School, that's where you attended, yeah? And what state is that, yeah?
In Ekiti State.
Yeah, I'm asking, yeah, of course, we all know where Ifaki is, but it's just very important in between, of course, Ido and Ado Ekiti and, the other sides. Okay, so let's put this. So can you mention anyone from that school who has been in government? The top ones.
Top ones, yes. We had Ebenezer Babatope, renowned Ebenezer Babatope.
Hold on. Let's just take them one after the other. The same Ebinotopsy, right? Transport minister under Obasanjo's government, right?
Yes.
The same one who went to proclaim the five leprous fingers, the 5 fingers of the leprous hand, to in unison adopt Abacha as civilian president, right? Mention some other people. Don't worry. There are receipts. You've really shaken the table very violently. Let's let's do it. So because you said the next one, you believe that you expect that the next corrupt person will probably be FGC or something, and all these ones have gone to FGCs and FGGCs. So you've been shaking the table. So let's talk about it. So Ebenezer Abatokpe, Ebinotopsy, go on, mention some others. I know you're trying to avoid mentioning names now. You're frightened now, but go on.
Yes, I might eventually not speak too much about them, but we have Professor Adelodun, a renowned professor of mathematics.
So we're talking about those who went into politics, because we've got their names there. If you're trying to dodge, we'll probably just put it in the public eye. So let me give you the privilege of mentioning the names yourself.
But incidentally, every product of Ifa Grammar School who have gone into politics have brilliantly excelled in that career.
Yeah, but why, if they've excelled, you should be very excited to actually mention their names. Mention their names.
Because what we are discussing today now is about the corruption in the humanitarian affairs ministry. And yes, we are not looking at the nexus of the background of
No. You're trying to, can you see now? That's why they say, those who actually, those who throw stones, they've got to be careful. They might have relatives in the marketplace, and those who live in glass houses as well. You should be very, very careful, because of course the engineer Segun Oni was removed from office in a very ignominious manner, with all due respect to that fine gentleman. But for as far as all the courts were concerned, serious rigging of the elections in Ekiti State back in that year. Professor Kolapo Olushola, if I'm very, very correct, Deputy Governor Tuayo Fayose, that government that where freedom of speech of the opposition was seriously threatened in Ekiti State. There seemed to be something about.
Incidentally, Segun Oni attended Wesley College in Ibadan.
Okay, he did not attend. Are you saying he did not attend?
Yes, for his secondary education.
You're actually disclaiming, you're actually rejecting that man.
No, Segun is a fantastic mentor. He's a good man. Even all Ekiti, citizens acknowledge that Segun is highly unblemished. He's a man of proven character and integrity.
Okay, did he? No,
I'm sure if Segun happened to be the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, the effect would have been felt more than the President of the country.
Oh, okay. The effect would not have been felt as much as
would have been felt even more than the President of the country.
You know what? I'll give you a pass here, because otherwise, what I don't want to do is to start bringing out dirty laundry of some senior citizens. We've not, but next time be careful before you shake a table. Of course, let's call out corruption whenever it happens. But when you're calling out corruption and then you're mentioning Chief Ebenezer Abatokpe as symbol of honesty, of integrity in your school, Ebenezer Abatokpe of the PDP years under Obasanjo, and quite a lot of the things that went on. And when he was removed as Minister of Transport, there's quite a lot to talk about. And even within the party itself, within the structure of the party, the offices held and some other things, with other people, and some of the roles that were played by Ebenezer Abatokpe. I can see you're quickly trying to Google a few things. It's too late in the day, so just go on. Let's talk about it. So be careful about
like I was talking about. The expectation regarding Beta Edu was completely high. Citizens felt due to a brilliant presentation and how well she projected.
And there's an argument from certain people anyway that Beta Edu attended Ifaki Grammar School as well.
No, Beta Edu, I'm not sure in a lifetime. Maybe Beta Edu, even have been to Ekiti or Ifaki so. But
you're not sure. She probably is a product of your school.
But she's not. We know ourselves. We have a common factor. We have a common employer. You wouldn't have attended Ifaki.
What's the common factor?
the common factor is when you look at service, when you look at integrity, when you look at uprightness, when you look at being a good ambassador, it's a key thing that you have to inculcate that value into you while you were a student of that school. And per se, like I was having a discussion with a friend before this program that when we are looking at character of people, we have to look at the formative stage of individuals. That is why we're talking about family, that whoever character that anybody might want to exhibit in the later age or later part of that person's life have direct or indirect connection with the background of that individual. So but as we speak, we don't need to really dwell too much about the FGC interaction. It's just like comically what Nigerians also brought out about
Nigerians brought it out, and then but all the things Nigerian brought out, I did not see anywhere where they said FGC Ogbomoso or Odogbolu or something, but someone actually brought it out on this call.
No. What I'm thinking is this now, because we have somebody from Gisao, we have somebody from Calabar. The next minister might be from FGC Ogbomoso, and we are looking at.
And you've already said whoever is coming from Ogbomoso will definitely be corrupt as well.
No, the person will be better. The person hopefully will be better, because I know some of the
better. Which of the betters are you talking about? BETTA or BETTER?
WTER. We are looking at BETTER because now we have even the president himself. You will remember the president himself and so many other people that we knew affiliation with FGC Ogbomoso and so many other FGCs.
The president is not affiliated with FGC Ogbomoso. What's his affiliation with FGC Ogbomoso?
No, the president is only affiliated with, our president. We don't want to go into the history of our president per se because of the purpose of this program. But however, products of FGCs across the country are doing brilliantly well. Smart guys, highly intelligent, cerebral, with good, capacity for management and all of that. So we hold them in high esteem, and that is why we expect at every point in time any position of authority saddled with them, we expect something fantastic to happen. And again, we should not miss that fact. For them to have been appointed to that ministry, it is a confirmation and testament to the fact that they have capacity.
Absolutely.
It is confirmation to the fact that they believe they have the credential and the human capacity to be able to manage that ministry effectively. And I'm bent, I'm both to say that at every point in time, because I have cousins, I have people, friends who attended different FGC colleges across the country, and I did brilliantly well in the endeavor. So it's just
what you're doing is damage control after you've already tried to do all of them.
I'm just beginning to look at the citizen perspective to the connection. We call it LCM. I want to call it the lowest common multiples now in the three personalities that have been flagged for corruption. But incidentally, that one is on a lighter note. But the corruption that has affected that ministry is heartbroken. I thank God that the president has intervened. But nevertheless, it is not only intervention or the suspension of the ministers that we correct these wrongs. We want to see scapegoats. We want the investigation to be properly conducted. Let the findings of that investigation be made public to the citizens for us to see. And whoever is a culprit, whoever is found wanting, should face the wrath of the law. We need scapegoats, from that ministry. We need scapegoats regarding the beneficiary of that fraudulent proceed, and let citizens at the time like this have their hope renewed that we have Asiwaju, who is ready to renew our hope that we have leadership that will set the record straight, leadership that will not part corruption at the back, even despite so many, notions that citizens might have had about some certain sector and certain personality in government. But let them correct the wrongs. Let them right the wrongs. Let them, make us know that this time Nigeria is ready to fight corruption to stand still. That is the plea.
Thank you so much. You've actually And of course, it's been very, very nice banter there. And I know you have utmost respect for all the FGCs, and equally, I have utmost respect for Ifaki Grammar School. But you've actually touched on this issue of corruption, you know. So, but I want to ask you a question. Leaders are not borrowed from abroad. They come from amongst us. So if someone is a thief, they're from amongst us. We've tried different strata of people. We've tried different categories of people. People have complained that the elderly ones are corrupt. So we've had the younger ones going into power. We've had people like Dino Melaye going to the National Assembly, fight, get their clothes torn and everything. We had Dimeji Bankole, one of our own from our generation, more or less, going there as speaker. We saw how it ended. We tried a woman as the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Mrs. Patricia Ete from Osun State. See the way it ended. Now, people have been saying not too young to rule, not too young to rule. Look at these women, the three of them. They are of a particular generation. And you have a minister currently, suspended minister who's 36, 37. And you've got the lady Shehu as well. I mean, we're not gonna import people to come and leaders to come and provide leadership in Nigeria. What are we getting wrong? And is it still a valid argument for people to say, well, those who have been ruling Nigeria, the old generation, they should leave? So that I would say, is it still a valid argument in light of the recent happenings and revelations?
Yes, Mr. Convener, when we want to look at people's genealogy, when we want to look at the structural composition of human beings, without laying too much emphasis on age, I'm both to say that corruption is no respecter of age, is no respecter of color of the skin, is no respecter of gender. We've also realized over time that even what you think men cannot do, women at certain instances can do better. So looking at, if you're now trying to look at it into leadership structure in the country, particularly in our country, Nigeria, we might be wrong to say that the younger generations who are hope has been completely high, that they will go there to be the torch bearers. They are going to, find the path and lead well. Show the older generations how leadership is expected to be executed are beginning to fall off the track. We cannot generalize it to say that the young ones could no longer be trusted. We are both to say that if we look at the history of corruption that has happened in the country, it is more of the older generations than the younger generations. We have so many young guys who are doing brilliantly well. We have many of them. Let's look at Ekiti State, my state, for example. We have young guys who worked as the SA to the former governor of the state on strategy formulation. We have young guys, a Speaker of the House of Assembly in Ekiti State is less than 45. We have a Speaker of the House of Assembly in your state is less than 35. We also have same in Osun State and so many other states in this country who are leading well in the responsibilities saddled upon them. So we might be wrong to generalize that the younger generations are beginning to fall off the track or they are defeating the purpose of leadership. Many of them are doing well. But looking at character formation, it is not a respecter of age. There are so many other factors that are responsible for people misbehaving when they get to a position of authority. Looking at somebody like Beta Edu and at historical and political history, a former commissioner doing well for herself, God has lifted you compared to, the place of preparation, and there's also the position of grace and positioning. And if she has been well positioned and God has also helped her, because we have so many younger ladies who can fit in better into that position, but she was singled out as a minister. It is a test of character. It is a test of leadership. It is a test of her personality. She's expected to live and exceed her expectation, but she has failed woefully. Even looking at the memo, where she claimed that officers or people, lied and joined to her, in her office, traveled by plane, by aircraft from Abuja to Kogi State. And they also took like 20 or 25,000 naira for taxis from Lagos, from Kogi Airport to their destination, all of that. People are now beginning to look at it.
Can I ask you the question? Sorry, don't forget your line of thought. Can you tell me, please, the location of the airport in Kogi? Which of the towns is it located in?
I think International Airport.
You think
we have Beta Edu International Airport in Kogi State because I think the EFCC should be able to ask that fundamental question from her: that which airport did they fly to? How were they conveyed? Can they provide the receipt of the Uber drivers that conveyed them from that airport? Can we have the boarding pass that they used to fly, from Abuja to Kogi? There are so many other questions to ask this young lady. So, like I was saying, that we have young guys who have been tested, trusted, and currently delivering in leadership position in Nigeria. And that's a testament that if younger guys are given, the leverage, we are going to do better than the older generations. And it is on record that most of the corrupt, the cases of corruption that has been investigated by EFCC in Nigeria are more of the older generations than the younger generations. And now we can also say that we are happy that it is happening like this. It is a pointer and it is a further confirmation to the younger guys coming that, guys, if God and if by personal, preparation and credence, you find yourself in a position of authority, you are expected to correct the wrongs, you are expected to be a torchbearer, and you are expected to live above board rather than toiling the same path of the other people who we are all condemning. In a family, we all aim to be a better reflection of our parents, of our fathers. If our elderly ones have done it wrongly, if they've toiled some part, if there are ways or things they've done that we think we are not comfortable with, we are expected to go into those positions to correct them, without saying and without undermining, their experience, without undermining the level in which they've done. We cannot say because we younger ones are coming, we want to, get into a position of authority. We cannot, because of that, now rubbish the history, the inputs, the capacity, the effort of the older ones. We need to always, at every point in time, acknowledge their effort of some of them, which they've ceaselessly given into building this society into what we are and into what we are having. But nevertheless, we younger ones are coming with much enthusiasm, with much vibrancy, exposure. Now we have AI, we have data science, we have analytics, we have, so many knowledge to bring into play, which we automatically translate into betterment in the life of citizens. So for all the younger ones who are currently holding any position, and to many who are still going to be appointed, this is a clarion call. We are testing their capacity. This is a test of whatever position they are finding themselves. It's a test of their character and the test of how well they will govern if given higher responsibility. So everybody must go there to prove themselves to be worthy of that position and to prove themselves that they are ambassador of the youth age and the youth generation of the country. And they should not go there to mess us up, because history is going to have them and everybody's responsibility and roles recorded in the sand of time.
Thank you so much, Mr. Section. You actually, the way you've put all this together, the analysis has just been it's just been very, very spot on, really top notch. Just two very short questions, because I'm mindful that we should be closing now. Two very short questions. Number one, what do you think the government should do regarding the case of Beta Edu? Apart from beyond, over and beyond the suspension and the, then number two, can you guarantee us that when you get to power, when you get to public office like that, you will not betray your this generation.
Yes, thank you so much. Let me start first from PLIDE. I remember I said it previously that aside from the suspension and the investigation of that case, citizens are looking up to a situation where our hope will be renewed indeed for fight against corruption. We don't want to see the window dressing. We don't want to see a situation in which, because the Nigerian system is a funny one. 2 weeks ago, you will hear a news in the dailies. Like sometimes last month, we were talking about Wike and the governor of Rivers State saga. Now we are talking of the corruption humanitarian affair. You might be surprised. Next week now, another story will come, and because of the nature of which our society is configured, there is tendency for us to forget whatever might have happened in that ministry. But history will not forget. And I know one day, sometime, somehow, we will also remember and hold our government accountable. But we don't need to wait until that. We are anxiously waiting. We want the investigation to be timely conducted and to be timely executed. And away from that, we want the findings to be made public to the generality of Nigerians. And at the same time, whoever might have erred or who are culprits of that corruption, saga should be made to face the law. We want to see our hope renewed, in totality as for fight against corruption. We don't want to see corruption to be fought probably on the pages of paper. We don't want to see corruption to be dishing out from the office of the president. We want corruption to be completely nailed, particularly from that ministry. Let's have a scapegoat. Let people indeed see that our president is ready, to correct the wrongs and to show us that part of his mandate and part of his promises made to the country is to purge this nation of corruption. We will salute the job brilliantly, being done by the president regarding the trial of the SYCBN governor and what is currently happening, the sanitization that is happening in CBN and many other, other sectors. But we want better edu also to be a case. We want to see the end. We want citizens to see that indeed, we are finding our heads to that. And going into my personal, commitment into how well I will dispense, and if I'm not going to tour the same path as PLIDE. I'm somebody who have history. I've graduated from university in the last 12 years, and incidentally, I've worked in a very sensitive ministry, in a very sensitive sector, which we call the banking sector. And for somebody to have consistently been in banking, where you've touched like 1, 2, 3 banks, and to the glory of God, I'm still standing. It's a testament to the credibility of that person. And most especially where you've been, in a position to have managed the affair of a branch, where you have what it takes to be able to, turn books around, where you can always bring in your friends and accomplices to bid as contracts in that branch, and you can always implement things. If such, practices were not found, were not in my character, and cannot be traceable to me at every point in time, I think, we can now begin to connect and see that, okay, this guy over time has been tested. He has worked in a very sensitive sector, very sensitive financial sector, where we see money on daily basis, where trust, because one of the sector where trust is mostly respected is banking. Our customers trust us to a level of keeping their money in their custody. And if I've worked in that sector and I've never betrayed the trust of either my employer or any of my customer, I think as I speak, I can also make boldly to the general public that I owe it as a sense of duty and obligation to live and uphold truth, integrity at every point in time. And as God liveth, I pray that God love and God empower me to always sustain that allegiance. God bless you, sir.
Amen.
Amen.
Pastor Shola is in the spirit. Amen. It's been a very, very fantastic one. And I could actually go on and on and on and on and on with regards to your analysis. It's actually very spot on the way you've just taking charge of all the topic and everything, except when you decided to shake that very dangerous table, and but it's been fun with you, and I hope we've been able to, for viewers out there, who just have been looking for someone to give a perspective into this. I hope we've been able to do a little bit of justice to this, and then that at least you find something useful in our analysis tonight. Please join us again on Sunday, this Sunday next week, which is just in 2 days time. Yeah, 6:30 p.m. Nigeria. We're going to be having a guest with us, Comrade Nelson Ekujumi, and of course, Sola Fayemi and I will be doing this again very soon, because the judgments in courts today were very interesting. I think the judges just decided to give a political solution. No victor, no vanquished. It's just leave everything. Like they will say, day your day, I day my day. So like Fubara and Wike are saying to themselves. Yeah, I know I said I've asked the last question. Brother Sola Fayemi, your neck, your everywhere is growing so fast, and I'm like, you're resembling Nyesom Wike. Is there something going on there? Are you winning contracts from the Federal Capital Ministry?
No, as even as it is right now, I don't have affiliation with Wike. We don't have a relationship. There's no contracts. I'm a public servant, and I said,
you're a public servant. That even makes it easier. So there's connection now, Abi.
Yeah, no, we don't have any connection. There's no connection. We don't have even direct relationship with his ministry of FCT and what have you. So as you speak, it's just about personal development and balance, the result of balanced diet that is being obvious in my head.
The result of balanced diets.
Yeah, it's the result of balanced diet. And the point for me not to grieve for anybody. This year now, the motto is not to grieve for anybody. Whatever you can do for yourself to develop yourself, and whatever makes you happy, do it for yourself. That is the best way to live happy this year.
Thank you so much, PLIDEite Sola Fayemi. I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight, and we're just calling it a night now. We've actually done justice, and so I want to appreciate you. PLIDEite Sola Fayemi is a one-time student union president of the University of Ado-Ekiti, and is currently the Secretary General International Headquarters of the Platform for Liberty and Democracy. Thank you so much for joining us. Of course, he's a seasoned banker. He's an activist. Of course, that's very, very clear. He's a human rights activist. He's a civil liberties fighter. And he's done so much. And you can see those photos behind him. That was his brainchild. So PLIDEite Sola Fayemi did a lot. He was the architect of what you're seeing there. That was the feeding of about 1,000 was it 1,000 or 5,000 in Yaba in Lagos, Yaba Ebute axis in Lagos. I think it was 1,000 pupils, out there, and food, everything was provided for them. And I actually think this is Osun State. This is the provision of educational materials to pupils of 10 public schools in Osogbo and environs in Osun State by the Platform for Liberty and Democracy. And of course, PLIDEite Sola Fayemi was the architect, was the engineer, was the brain box of that program. Thank you so much for all you've always done. And of course, the one on the left, that was in, was that Owode Town or thereabout, or was it Owode Town? That was in Ogun State.
Yes.
At the height of COVID, and that was the COVID intervention from the Platform for Liberty and Democracy. We'll talk about them again every now and then whenever we have these webinars, just to let the world know some of the things we've been doing as an organization. And so when you see some of those photos, some of those videos, you always know that, yes, it's very easy to see the head of the organization in the convener, but we also have people in the background, especially the Secretary General, who coordinates everything and ties everything together. Thank you so much for what you continue to do. God bless you. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. And those who will be watching this later, please send us your questions and